Hey guys, it's Trisha, the left-handed stitcher. I'm here tonight to do an update. I know it's been a while. I didn't realize how long it had been until I went and watched my last update, because that's what I always do when I prep for an update. I watch the last one to make sure I don't repeat myself, you know, which is always a hazard given how sketchy my memory is these days. So my last update was 12th of August. Holy cow, like 4 months, over 4 months ago. But I had posted 8 videos after that point. And they were all tutorials and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why it didn't feel like it had been all that long. So yep, I'm here to do my update after 4.5 months. And it's probably, no, we're closing on 5 months now. Because, yeah, it is the 6th of January. Yep. Well, going into the 7th. Because it's late. I'm up late because I'm dealing with a little bit of insomnia, I guess. I went to bed early today because I was tired, and I woke up about midnight and I couldn't get back to sleep. So, here I am, doing an update. Alright, so first thing that I have to talk about is the retreat that I went to up in Albuquerque. Oh man, did I have so much fun. It was awesome. Awesome. The girls there were so friendly and welcoming and funny. We laughed so much. There was about 30 girls there. So it's a relatively small, simple, you know, type of retreat, but I can't, you know, put into words just how much fun I had in just such, you know, 3 days time. And the best part was meeting Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Oh, we had such an awesome time together. It's weird. We even talked about it, how it felt like we already knew each other. You know, after watching each other's videos for, you know, close to a year, a little over a year, you meet them and you feel like you already know them. So, like right off the bat, there was such an ease, you know, us hanging out. It was great. And it didn't hurt that we're both serious night owls. So we closed that place down every night, stitched until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I am really looking forward to the next one. It's in April sometime, and actually planning on going up to Albuquerque towards the end of this month to do just a single day type of a thing. Stitcher's Garden does a, I guess, you know, they call it some people call it a stitch and bitch, where they can stay after hours and stitch. You show up whenever you want during the day when the store is open, and then when the store closes, they just let the girls stay at the tables stitching. So a little monthly stitching retreat, I guess. So I'm looking forward to that too. So alright, so that moves us right into my whips, because what did I work on at the retreat? I worked on one project, and I didn't do any actually cross stitching. It was all back stitch. You guys may remember this little project. It's my Innocent Guardian. It is my oldest whip, and I was able to work on it at the retreat because, yeah, it's a gift from my mother-in-law, and that was a perfect time for me to get some progress done on it. So let me get her unrolled here. And oh, I got a loose thread here. Let me move that kind of out of the way a little bit. She's big, so we're we're gonna have to get back a little farther. There she is. In all her glory. I mean, she's gorgeous, but she's taken me a long time. So I had done some of these French knots, all of the back stitching on the leaves, the garland going all the way down, did all that, and I had done all the back stitching from the waist up prior to that, so it started at the waist and I did all the back stitching through here, including the leaves, the little filigree of leaves, or damask, whatever you want to call it, and started on the ruffle. All I have left to do is to finish this ruffle, then do the French knots that are in the garland and these two clumps of grapes, and then adding the beads that are the halo around her. So I am so close, so close. So she will get finished the back stitching at the next retreat, and then I will bring her home and wash her, and then I will get her framed after I put the beads on. Yeah, wash, then beads, and then framing. And as you saw, I took her off of that old split rail frame, that scroll frame that I didn't like, and put her on my Millennium bars. So that was a good decision, because I got so much done. It's a lot of backstitch, but I just was trucking along for several hours a day during the retreat. Awesome. So you'll see her again soon-ish, and she'll probably be done. Alright, so next I have an FO to show you. Finished object is my needle worker. This was such a fun stitch to do. Love it. I was a little concerned about the color for the thread and the needle, you know, blending into the fabric, but it turned out really well. The needle still shows up nicely, and the thread, there was one section of the variegated that did kind of blend a little bit, so I made sure just to not use those sections of that variegated. But yeah, I'm loving it. This is such a beautiful, beautiful project. And let me see if I can show you this and get up close. My teeny tiny little signature. That is my signature over one, because I figured it, you know, I sign all my projects now, but I didn't want to, that's just how I felt like doing it for this one, not doing it too big. So I found a frame at a garage sale recently that I believe is going to fit this, but I have to paint it because it's brown, and I think I want the frame for this to be either black, or maybe if I can get it the same red as the berries, that might be pretty cool. So it might take me a little while to get this FFO'd, but when I do, you guys will definitely get a gander at it. If you haven't stitched this yet, if you have it, or even if you don't have it, I'm not real big on prim type stuff, but this one spoke to me, and it's an awesome project, so I really do recommend giving it a try. Alright, so the next thing to show you is a whip. You saw the prep for this for my project prep video. It is Welcome Little Love pattern that I got off Etsy. I have finished all of the cross stitch except for the name and the date. I know the name that they picked, but the baby hasn't been born yet, so I'm gonna wait to do the name and the date, since obviously I won't know the date till the baby's born, and the name, how often do people pick a name and they change their minds at the last minute? So I'm not gonna tempt fate and try to stitch that name before it's official. So you'll see this again once I finish putting the last little touches on it. But this was a fun stitch. It's a lot of stitches in this border, but it was a nice easy pattern to follow, and I really enjoyed it. Alright, so the next whip, it's been a while since you guys seen this one. This is my Cool Cardinal. I felt like stitching on him about a month and a half ago, so I picked him up and I started stitching. I finished his, wing out, and then I did the snow that was touching him, because in order to back stitch you need to have any touching stitches done, and then I did his back stitching. So let me get up kind of close if you can see. There he is with his wing back stitching on there. He's so cute. Now all I need to do is add all the snowflakes that are above and below him. Here's the picture. Can you see all those snowflakes? So, yep. Although it's a lot, it's a simple pattern, so I should be able to knock this out pretty quickly. This is the reason why I decided to do an update, because I hit this point and now it's time for me to start those snowflakes, so I need to move the Q-snap. Now the bird isn't completely done. His tail runs way down, but I'll do that when I move the Q-snaps. It's a real simple 3 stitches wide down, and then just the teeniest little back stitch at the very tip. But yeah, I still love him. He's gonna be awesome, and this fabric was the best choice for it. I'm so glad I'd ordered it for another project and it didn't work out, because then it was destined for this project. So he's getting pretty close too. The next is my second oldest whip. Guys haven't seen this one in a while because I just haven't been stitching on it until this past couple of weeks. I picked this up because it called to me, and I put all of this stitching in these past couple of weeks. So now I'm working on this white stripe right here. I'm about 3/4 of the way done with this, because you can see where the edge is here, and there's there's this white stripe, there's one red stripe, a white stripe, a red stripe, and then the tiniest little bit of white at the very bottom edge. But yeah, again, working on this up close, I get kind of discouraged at how funky the white stripes look, when you're up close on it. And I get a little worried because it isn't what I considered an untested pattern. From Etsy, there was no stitched examples of it. But when I put it in front of the camera, I can see it a lot better. So that gives me hope. And I love stitching the flag. It's gonna be awesome. But it's on 14 count white Aida, which this is probably the last time I'm ever gonna stitch on 14 count white, because this coverage is tough to get, and I can see when I'm up close, I can see through the stitches. Good thing that this thing needs to be at a distance to see it, because then you can't see through the stitches. So my plan is, when this is done, I'm gonna frame it, and it's gonna go up above a doorway, because our main living area has really high ceilings, so there's a good bit of real estate above doorways out there. So this is gonna go up above a doorway, and that way you can't get close to look at it. You'll have to stand back and see it the way it's meant to be seen. So yep, this one's getting pretty close too. So I've been having a lot of fun stitching on this one, even though coverage has been tough. I've just had to let go of that. Just let go of it and just stitch it. It'll turn out. Alright, so the next whip to show you is my Flower of the Month series. Is that the way? Nope, upside down. Here it is. I am still working on the sweet pea section. Again, I don't feel any urgency on doing this. It doesn't have a deadline at all. It's just whenever it calls to me, I stitch on it. Eventually it will get done. So, but yeah, those are pretty pinks. I am nearly done with the pink in this section, and then I'll just move on to the greens. And there it is. These patterns are so pretty. You know, they use several shades of the colors to get the depth, but it's amazing when it's done. So that one is going to be a whip for a while. Alright, so that's it for my whips, except I have one whip that's MIA at the moment. It's the Mill Hill Pine Cone ornament. I packed it up to take it with me up to the retreat, and I haven't been able to find it. So once that thing shows up, it'll get stitched. Alright, so what I have to show you next is a project that was a whip that is now, find the top, is now an abandoned project, because I just wasn't enjoying it, and I decided I don't particularly care for the full design, because it was a mystery stitch along frosted pumpkin, very Merry Christmas Town. This is what I got done, just that center section, the white part. That's when I decided I just wasn't enjoying it, so I'm okay with just letting it go. I'll unstitch that little bit of white, and then this piece of fabric will find another project, because it is a very, very pretty light blue opal. So it will find something else to put on it. Alright. Now the next thing I have to show you is I was digging through my stash, and I came across this old FO, and it is just so freaking adorable. I need to start showing you guys some of my old finished objects, because you've seen my one FFO that I have in my possession, the mythical dragon, or mystical dragon, the Janlin kit. But I have a whole stack of FOs that haven't gotten FFO'd from my years past, so I gotta start showing you them. We'll see, maybe I'll do a video showing them all, but for right now, we'll just show you this little guy. This is a pattern I got online. I didn't actually get the pattern. I had to chart this guy from a picture because I saw a stitch example. I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked for the pattern. And this was before I really felt, really knew the copyright thing. So at the time, I gave up and I charted it and I stitched it. So if you guys know where this came from, I'd be happy to, and if it's a pay chart, I would be happy to go and pay for it after the fact. But let me show it to you. This cute little guy, just dragging without my coffee. So adorable. And then I did this for my husband. I was gonna frame it and he's gonna put it up in his office, but we both retired. He has yet to have another office job, so I'm waiting for that to happen. He's going to school full-time right now to get his degree, so sometime in the future he'll be back to work and have his own office, so this will definitely go in it. I love him. He turned out so darn cute. Alright, now my last object to show you is I guess you can call it an FFO. I made my own project bag when I was in my sewing, phase a couple months ago. I watched a few YouTube videos on making bags, and I found one from the Missouri Quilt Company series that was really easy to follow. And so these are just some bargain fabrics that I got at Walmart, but they did kind of go together, so I used them. And this is my very first zipper I've ever sewn into a project, and it didn't turn out too bad. I did make one mistake that I had to do a little fixing on the inside. I had to tack that bottom edge down by hand because it kept getting caught in the zipper because I did one step wrong. But you learn, and it works now. It works great. And this fits my favorite size of frame. It's a 9.5 by 8 type frame. So this fits perfect. And on the inside I just used a plain gray fabric. I used some not quite heavy, but medium weight interfacing in it to give it some body, so it has structure to it. And I love it. It's not perfect, but it works, and it is my first. So it's a little bit of work. It takes me a while to get one of these done because there's a lot of measuring and lots of seams. But the cool thing is the way this is put together is it's quilted as you do it. So let me show you the inside where the quilting is. Right there. So where this is and this is, there's 2 lines of quilting. So all these layers will stay together nicely. There it is. Okay, so now I have just a few things to talk about. I have a fairly large amount of stash enhancement, because it's been four and a half, 5 months almost. And that includes 2 trips up to Albuquerque. That included trips to Stitcher's Garden. So I've decided I will do all of that in its own video, because it's a lot. And, if you want to watch it, you can watch it. If you don't, and that's going to be a long video on its own. Alright, the things I'm going to talk about, I'll do Stitchy related stuff first, and then some not so stuff at the end in case you're not interested. So I've already talked about the retreat. Let's see, what's next? Ooh, one thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and it's pretty cool. And I noticed it about a month ago, and so now that I've been paying attention, I've been seeing it more and more. I was watching video from the Evergreen Needle, and they had, you know, on the one side, whichever side you're going to see it on, the side that has all the recommended videos, a lot of time there's an ad at the very top. Well, the girl in the ad, I could have swore that was the girl from the video. The resemblance was so amazing. I kept doing that. Could she be a model? She could, because she's that good looking, but she, you know. Then I started to pay attention, and YouTube seems to be using a facial recognition algorithm for I don't know why, shits and giggles or something, but not all of the time, but enough of the time to see the pattern. If the video has a face, if you know you're showing your face in your video, the ad, who's the face in the ad will resemble. There will be a resemblance. It's freaky the way they've been doing it. So now that I've told you, start paying attention, you'll see it. Alright, next I'm going to talk about giveaway. I'm getting ready to do my first. I'm overdue for it. I've been collecting stuff for a while now, so it's going to be pretty big. I have been thinking for quite a while now about, you know, the issue that we have with random folks doing keyword searches for giveaways and drawings, and then just entering everything they find, even though they're not part of the Flosstube community. And then if they win, they get the stuff and they sell it on eBay. Something that we definitely don't want to happen. So I've been thinking, how do we fix that? How do we fight that? And I've decided that instead of giveaway in the title or the description, I'm going to use something different. And this more or less speaks to, you know, my 22 years in the military. Do love my acronyms. So I'm planning to use the acronym FSG for Flosstube Subscriber Giveaway. So that way you'll see FSG in the title and you'll know that I'm doing a giveaway. But I won't ever actually use the word giveaway in the title or the description. Because the keyword search, I believe it definitely does the title. I believe it also searches in the description. And I can't be certain, but it's possible that it might also search in comments as well. Because you know, you do a keyword search on something and you get those weird videos in the mix that don't seem to, you don't know why they popped up in that results. I can't be certain, but it's possible. They search in the comments too. So, title will have FSG, Flosstube subscriber giveaway. If you guys want to use that, go ahead. I think that might be a good way for us to prevent non-Flosstube folks from entering our giveaways. And then, I don't know, it's kind of cute in the comments when you want to sign up for it. You can just say FSG me. It's goofy, but I think it'll work. So, yep, when I get ready to do my video, you'll know it because the title will have FSG acronym in it. And that's coming soon. I'm getting very, very, very close to doing that. Alright, so the next thing to talk about is my 2016 plans. My plans are pretty simple. I am going to, well, as you guys already know, I am doing 2 round robins. So the round robins will take priority. I'm also doing the 2 year-long stitch-alongs from Clouds Factory and Frosted Pumpkin. I've bought the patterns, I've bought the fabric, I got the specialty threads in just today, so I'm getting ready to do those. As long as I am enjoying those stitches, they'll be second in line for my stitchy time. And I should be able to keep up with the monthlies, but if I don't, I don't. You know, it's not earth-shattering if I don't. And then after that, between now and May, I will work on knocking out my whips, some of my whips, because I'm close enough in some of them. You know what? I just realized I forgot one. It wasn't in my stack. So where the heck is it? I've been working on the Blackwork Hummingbird. I thought I brought it in here to show you guys. It seems to have gotten up and walked away. Well, I will see if I can go find that, and I'll show it to you. Alright, I went and I found it, so I could show you guys real quick. My Blackwork Hummingbird. This is how far I've gotten. So it's coming along. I have all of the pattern done from this level over done. He is completely done. So now I am working on the shading in these leaves. So when that's done, I will move the Q-snap down. I'll finish the leaves underneath, and then all of the background pattern all the way across. And then I'll be done. So yep, this one is getting pretty far along too, but I have to be in just the right mood to work on this, because this shading part of the leaves is pretty tedious. I love the pattern, the background pattern. That part is really fun to stitch, but the shading is kind of, like I said, I gotta be in just the right mood to stitch on it. Alright, so there she is. So, Birth Sampler is the first whip that's gonna get done, because that baby's coming any day now. The American Flag and Cool Cardinal will probably be the next. Well, they'll be done at some point in the next 6 months. Well, it's 4 months until May, because May is the 5th month. So next 4 months, I will get at least one of those done, if not both. and then the Innocent Guardian will get done, because she'll be done at the next retreat in April. So now May, I am doing Stitch Mania this year. I don't think that I'm gonna do a start a day type of a thing, because as you guys know, I grid everything. I don't like stitching without a grid, so unless I can do some prep work for all of those starts beforehand, I probably won't do a start a day. I might do every 2 to 3 days, but I will keep going on those starts until I have gotten all of the projects I've picked for Stitch Mania started. Now if I get a decent number of them prepped, I can probably start off with a start a day, but I don't know, we'll see if I can get all of them prepped beforehand. That's a lot of gridding. I'm probably gonna get pretty burnt out on gridding, but I can't stitch without it. I enjoy stitching with a grid. I enjoy stitching more when I have a grid to work from, because I have a lot fewer mistakes, a lot less frogging when I use a grid. So, and I sat down and I did a list. Let's see, I thought I brought it in here. Is this the notebook that I put it in? I think so. Nope, this is not the notebook. Well, trust me, this list that I put down, 95% of what's on the list is stuff I have in my stash that still really speaks to me. So, and then there's just a few things that I haven't purchased yet that I just, really want to do. But that list got pretty long, so I have so much to stitch that, yeah, I want to get some of these started. I think I will do just enough. I'm doing pretty okay with the amount of whips that I have going. Ooh. Yeah, that just speaks to my memory. I haven't worked since the last time you've seen her on my Emerald Mermaid. So she'll get some love. I'm starting to feel the urge to stitch on her, so at some point soon she'll get some more love. So that's how many whips I got going. I think about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if you count the pine cone mill hill. So, but I'm doing pretty good with that number of whips, so we'll see once that number starts getting into double digits how I feel. Who knows? We won't know until we get there. And once I have all those started, then that'll give me even more of a range of things to stitch on. Because I don't do a rotation. I stitch on it whatever my mood is. So when something starts calling to me, I stitch on it until I get tired of it. And by the time I get tired of that, I start feeling like something else is calling to me. So Stitch Mania this year, I completely missed it last year. That was the time frame that I had a hiatus from YouTube, Flosstube, and Facebook. So I completely missed it. Not that I could have participated, because, like I said, it's gonna take some prep work for me to do so many starts in such succession. So, alright, so I've got, oh, and I just got to put in here, anytime along the way I feel like starting something, I'm just going to start it. I'm not putting any restrictions on myself. So, I do whatever I feel like. Let's see, I have just one last thing to talk about. That's not, well, it's teeny bit stitchly related, but mostly not. And the only reason I'm telling you because it has a teeny bit of stitchy relatedness to it. I have been going to a dermatologist. I don't know if you guys noticed this little spot right above my eye. It's been there for a while. It's kind of like eczema. I've been going and seeing if we can fix it, because it bothers me that it's there. So he decided that it's a good idea for us to do some allergy testing. And the one thing he was particularly concerned about is nickel allergy, because that's apparently very common. And needless to say, I had to wait a month for the insurance authorization to go through before I could get the allergy. It was the patch test. Yeah, so I went there on a Monday. They applied the patches to my back. I believe there's over 50 substances that are on those patches that they're testing for. And you go back. I went back on Wednesday and they removed them. And then I went back on Friday so they can do a second check on my back to see if there's any delayed reactions. And nothing. I was not even sensitive to any of the substances, which is good, very good, because I was really concerned if it was nickel, because my cross-stitch needles are nickel-plated steel. I was like, oh, don't tell me. My favorite needles, I wouldn't be able to use them anymore. I'd have to go find something else. So thank you. Thanks so much. I'm not allergic to nickel. But then that puts us back at square one to figure out what's causing it. So we can figure out the best way of getting rid of it. It responds well to a steroid cream and a non-steroidal cream. You know, the doc told me to use it for a week, and I did, and it went away, but then within a week after that it came back. And he told me we have to be careful with using the steroidal cream on this area above the eye, because there's a complication known as steroidal glaucoma. So, you know, that really limits what we can do to it. So it'd be easier to know what's causing it, so we can figure out the best way of handling it. So I gotta make an appointment with him now to figure out what our next step is. But yeah, I had a little bit of a scare there about, you know, whether or not I could use my favorite cross-stitch needles without, you know, detriment to my skin health. Alright, so a little drink. That's it. Sorry. It goes down the wrong pipe a lot. That's it for tonight. I have 4 videos that I'm prepping for to do, so you'll see more of me in the very, very near future. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys had a wonderful, you know, Christmas, holiday season, and New Year's. I think 2016 is going to be a great year. So, see you guys later.